15 per game last year. Bonner comes up with a steal. The veteran off to the races.
Some athletes are born for peace, for precision, for control. DeWanna Bonner was born for the storm. Not to avoid it. Not to survive it. But to become it. She has made a life out of walking into the chaos of competition with ice in her veins and fire in her eyes, unbothered by the turbulence around her. If anything, the storm brings her into focus. Because when everything gets loud, erratic, and uncertain, that's where Bonner settles in. That's when she thrives. The modern game celebrates flash. It sells explosiveness. It turns potential into storylines before players even find their rhythm. But Bonner? She has always moved differently. She didn't arrive on the scene with viral fanfare or a spotlight-ready smile. She didn't posture, didn't beg for attention. Instead, she introduced herself the only way she's ever known, with grit, with consistency, and with a relentless hunger to compete. In a world that moves fast, Bonner has built a career on things that last. From the moment she entered the WNBA in 2009, she made it clear, she wasn't here to blend in. She wasn't a role player waiting for an invitation. She was a disruptor. And in her first season with the Phoenix Mercury, she made her presence felt immediately, winning WNBA 6th Woman of the Year as a rookie. That team won a championship, and while the spotlight leaned toward established stars like Diana Taurasi and Cappie Pondexter, Bonner was the X-factor. The quiet engine behind critical stops, momentum plays, and dagger buckets. And then she did something unheard of. She won that same 6th Woman honor 3 straight times. She didn't just come off the bench, she controlled games from it. She shifted tempo. She guarded the league's best scorers. She imposed her will on games without asking for permission. But her impact couldn't stay boxed into a reserve role forever. Bonner's evolution was inevitable. Over the next several seasons, she would shed the super sub label and transform into a complete player. One who could score, pass, rebound, defend, and lead. Her length, mobility, and versatility made her a matchup nightmare. Too quick for bigs. Too long for guards. Too smart for both. But beyond her physical tools, what made Bonner exceptional was her mindset. She read the game like a veteran chess master. She didn't chase plays. She orchestrated them. There's an intensity in Bonner's game that rarely gets the spotlight because it's not loud. It doesn't scream. It simmers. She's not yelling at teammates or pumping her chest every time she scores. But make no mistake, she's one of the fiercest competitors the league has ever seen. You see it in the way she boxes out. The way she chases rebounds she shouldn't get. The way she puts her body on the line when the team is already up 15. She doesn't know how to play soft. She's never tried. In a league that's constantly shifting, players in, players out, coaches changing, rosters rebuilding, Bonner became a pillar. Phoenix built around her. Teammates looked to her. Opponents schemed for her. And season after season, she delivered. But every great story has its crucibles. In 2017, Bonner took a step back from basketball, for something far greater. She became a mother, giving birth to twin daughters with then-partner Candace Dupree. Motherhood would reshape her life in profound ways. But when she returned to the game in 2018, she didn't come back tentative or diminished. She came back stronger. That year, after more than a year away from professional basketball, Bonner not only rejoined the Mercury but emerged as their leading scorer. She averaged over 17 points per game and helped guide the team to the playoffs once again. For most athletes, just returning would have been the story. For Bonner, the return was just the next chapter in a story that kept building. Her play was sharp. Her focus, sharper. She had changed, but not in the ways anyone expected. She didn't come back looking for accommodations. She came back to compete, to win, and to show her daughters, now watching from the stands, what it means to pursue excellence without compromise. Then in 2020, after more than a decade with the Mercury, Bonner was traded to the Connecticut Sun. Some questioned how she would transition. New system, new team, new role. But true competitors don't need familiarity to be great. They just need opportunity. And Bonner made Connecticut hers. From the very beginning, she brought a toughness to the Sun that aligned perfectly with their identity. They were already a defensive powerhouse with physical anchors like Alyssa Thomas and Brianna Jones, but Bonner added something else, a killer instinct in the clutch. A calm under fire. She was the one who wanted the ball with 10 seconds left. The one who took the responsibility of guarding the other team's hottest player. The one who led not with volume, but with standard. That's who she's always been. You don't lead teams deep into the playoffs year after year by accident. You don't average double digits for 15 straight seasons by coincidence. You don't outplay all-stars in your 30s unless you've mastered the unteachable, how to evolve when the world keeps changing. Bonner has never tried to outshine. She's always tried to outlast. And she has. Over 6,500 career points. Over 2,800 rebounds. Hundreds of steals. Dozens of playoff battles. 2 championships. 5 all-star appearances. Multiple finals trips with multiple franchises. She's etched her name into the history of the league in a way that's impossible to erase. And yet, somehow, she still doesn't get her full due. Why? Because Bonner's greatness isn't flashy. It's not designed for quick clips or social media virality. Her game is earned, not advertised. It reveals itself over time, layer by layer. If you've only seen a few of her games, you might miss it. But watch her for a season, and you'll see how many games she saves, how many possessions she wins, how many young players she mentors behind the scenes. She's the kind of player championship teams are built on. She is culture. She is leadership. She is edge. And she is never rattled. Even now, as she nears the twilight of her playing career, she's still putting up numbers, still logging heavy minutes, and still setting the tone. In 2023, she crossed the 6,000-point mark. In 2024, she was still defending top scorers and closing out playoff games. And in 2025, still out there, still standing, still competing, still the storm. Because here's the truth about DeWanna Bonner, you don't outlast eras unless you were never built for one era alone. Bonner isn't a product of the early 2000s WNBA. She's not just a relic of the Taurasi Griner Mercury teams. She's not a placeholder in Connecticut's system. She's not a supporting act in someone else's narrative. She is the narrative. She's the proof that fire, when fed properly, doesn't burn out, it burns smarter. That evolution is more powerful than dominance. That the game doesn't belong to the loudest, but to the most relentless. Ask any coach in the league which player they trust in a do-or-die possession, and Bonner's name is coming up. Ask any teammate who keeps the locker room balanced, focused, driven, Bonner. Ask any rising star who gave them the hardest matchup of their rookie season. You already know the answer. Because that's the legacy of DeWanna Bonner. It's not just in the stat sheets or the highlight reels. It's in the respect, the fear, the admiration, the shadow she casts when she steps onto the court. It's in how much harder everyone else has to play just to keep up. Bonner didn't wait for validation. She created her own. She didn't chase spotlight. She became gravity. And now, as one of the last active players from her draft class, she stands not as a veteran clinging to past glory, but as a standard bearer for what a complete career looks like. What a full arc of reinvention, sacrifice, and excellence really means. She is a mother, a mentor, a champion, a blueprint, and most of all, she is a storm that never passed. She's still out there, still circling, still making it rain. Thank you for walking through the fire with us. This was the story of DeWanna Bonner, not just a star, but a fighter who outlasted, outworked, and outwilled almost everyone she faced. If you felt the thunder in her game, if you saw her turn chaos into control, if you watched her rise against age and odds, then don't let this moment pass. Like this to honor the storm chasers. Share it with someone who knows greatness doesn't always shout. Subscribe to remember those who shaped the game one possession at a time. Until next time, compete without apology, evolve without fear, and remember, some chase the storm, but DeWanna Bonner is the storm.